Greetings, Call of the Wild family. Today I've got a story about two great ones. Two trophies with completely different experiences. One of them tested every bit of patience I had. The other showed up so fast I was still setting up the grind when it happened. Let's get into it. We'll start on Revontuli Coast with the Whitetail Great One. When I started this grind, I felt pretty confident. I heard managed. My rotations and respawns were working well. For hundreds of kills I thought, any moment now, or maybe the next run. Then the next run would come and go. Then another, and another. The funny thing about long grinds is that they change over time. At the beginning, you're excited, but after enough harvests, that excitement starts turning into routine. You're running the same lakes, checking the same zones, taking the same shots, and watching the kill count keep climbing. At that point, I wasn't even thinking about luck anymore. I was just staying consistent and hoping the game would eventually decide it was my turn. There were times when I got tired of looking at Revontuli. Not because I disliked the map. Quite the opposite, actually. But after enough runs, any map can start feeling old. Eventually, I decided I needed a break, so I stepped away to set up other grinds. After I got a fallow deer great one, I felt it was time to return to this whitetail grind. When I finally came back to Revontuli, I wasn't putting pressure on every run anymore. I wasn't staring at the harvest count or wondering when the great one would spawn. I was just doing the thing. Then it happened. After 1,412 harvests, he appeared. Suddenly, all those hours on the map felt worth it. Seeing him finally hit the dirt felt extremely rewarding. With the Whitetail Great One finally in the lodge, I figured it was time for a change of scenery. So I packed up and headed over to Hirschfelden to start working on Roe Deer. After what I'd just been through on Revontuli, I was fully expecting another long grind. Maybe not 1,400 harvests again, but definitely something that would take a while. As it turns out, the game had other plans. Now, if you've spent much time chasing roe deer on Hirschfelden, you already know the hardest part isn't necessarily shooting them, it's finding them. I spent a lot of time locating drink zones and figuring out which parts of the map I actually wanted to hunt. There are zones everywhere, and plenty of them just don't offer the kind of visibility I like when I'm setting up my grinds. So my plan was to focus on the lakes in the southwest portion of the map, where I could get cleaner sightlines. Once everything started coming together, I began seeing some really encouraging respawns. There were some impressive deer showing up, and the grind looked promising. But I still assumed I was settling in for a long project. I was still making adjustments, still deciding on my tent and tripod placements, and still refining my route. I wasn't even fully committed to the final setup yet. Then, just 46 harvests in, I won the Call of the Wild lottery. After everything I'd just gone through with the whitetail grind, seeing a Roe Deer Great One appear that early felt almost ridiculous. There was no way I expected a great one spawn before the grind had really even started. After mentally preparing myself for weeks of grinding, the game decided to hand me this trophy almost immediately. Looking back at these two hunts, it's kind of amazing how different they were. One tested my patience. The other showed up before I was even ready for it. That's one of the reasons I love this game so much. No matter how much planning you do, no matter how ideal your grind setup is, there's always an element you can't control. As it's said, RNG gonna RNG. Either way, I'm grateful for both of these great ones, and I'm proud to display them in my lodge. Thanks for spending some time with me today. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know down in the comments about your longest or shortest Great One grind. Until next time, big love and happy hunting.